Hello, everybody. Welcome back to You've Been Josh with Josh. I am your host, Josh. Do I need to change that intro? I've been saying that ever since I started this podcast. Let me know. Do I need to change that? Should I change it to something different? I like it. I used to start my streams that way. I used to be like, hi, guys. Welcome back to You've Been Josh. Well, I've been Josh with Josh. I'm your host, Josh. But the podcast is just You've Been Josh with Josh. I'm your host, Josh. I just thought it was kind of funny, but maybe I'll just keep it. I don't know. I just thought of that when I said it. I was like, wow, I've been saying that for like ever. But happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope everyone had a great one. If you celebrate. I know my across the pond friends and my Canadian friends do not, but, you know, I hope you had a great weekend otherwise. To all the people who partake in the blackest of Fridays, the night of dread. If anybody partakes in that, I hope you guys got some sick deals and some presents for Christmas early. Joy and I did not leave the apartment. We looked on some Cyber Monday deals yesterday because it's Tuesday now. But other than that, we didn't really go out. But it was a good weekend. It was a great weekend. We've made the duck. We made the duck for Thanksgiving. We made a duck on Turkey Day. We had a duck on Turkey Day. Wow. Yeah, we made a duck on Turkey Day, and surprisingly enough, we fucking killed that shit, dude. We fucking killed that shit. I swear, I'm gonna have a turkey. Not a turkey. I'm gonna have a duck on Turkey Day every year now. Duck is so fucking good. I was so surprised. We did it really simple. We did a salt and pepper rub over the entire duck, and we salted pretty heavily just because ducks are very, very fat heavy. So we wanted to render that down more. We did a salt pepper rub, and then we did rosemary and garlic, and we put it in the Instant Pot and we cooked it. And then to crispen up the skin afterwards, we threw it in the oven on broil, and we threw it in there for like 30 minutes. And oh my God, the skin, the meat, everything. Oh, so good. Oh, we had some mashed potatoes and some green beans. It slapped hard. It was so freaking good. But no, I wanted to let you guys know how that turned out because I know a lot of people from last week were like, I hope it went well. But no, it turned out great, and it was a lot of fun to try cooking duck. You know, it was a whole fucking duck. It was a whole duck. But it also snowed on Thanksgiving, which was super cool. Joy's not excited about the cold weather. Not because she dislikes it, but she dislikes being cold. She always gets super bundled up. She has very low circulation. She has very bad circulation. Whereas I fucking love the snow. I'm always cold. I mean, not always cold. I'm always warm. I'm a burly chap. I'm a husky guy. Huskies are in the north because of their husky fur. I'm a husky guy. You know, I got some fats on me. And I'm a big grizzly bear. I'm born for the winter. No, I love the cold. Joy likes the cold too. She just doesn't like being cold, which is ironic. And she also doesn't like the snow because then she has to, wear boots and all that stuff. But she likes it. We both don't like being sweaty, and we don't like the heat. We can always put more clothes on. You can't take more clothes off. That makes sense. Like you can strip down to your skin, but you might still be hot. You know what I'm saying? But if it's cold, you can just keep putting more layers on or thicker layers, and you can pretty much be better at that, if that makes sense. It gets you can always get warmer. Oh my God. Can I fucking talk? Jesus. Oh my goodness. Oh guys, the last 2 weeks have been crazy. I went back to stream on Friday. Like I said in last week's episode, I've been off for like the last week and a half because of being sick. And I was just coming down when I recorded the last episode. Now I'm 100% okay. I'm back to my normalcy. My my body feels good again. I can breathe. um, but I'm back to being A-OK, 100% O. And I was happy to get back into stream on Friday. It felt like I hadn't streamed in so long. I streamed for like 8 hours that night, and it went by in like 2 seconds. It flew by so quick. It was really nice to be back. I hadn't been away from streaming for that long in a while. I took a vacation in September, but that was only for like 5 days or so. But I had been off for like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, and it felt so long. It felt so long. And so just coming back was like really nice. And we started playing Skyrim again. Oh my God. I grew up on that game, like I had said. And just getting back into it with all these new mods that they came out with for the 10-year anniversary edition. Oh, so good. They added backpacks, guys. Oh my God. If you've ever played Skyrim, they added backpacks to the new one. That's a game changer. You can have pets that have backpacks on them too. You can give backpacks to your companions that can carry more stuff, and they could already carry stuff. So now you can load your shit in. Oh my God. There's just so many different possibilities now. And they added a bunch of new quests and buildings and stuff. It's crazy. It's been super good. No, I'm happy to be back streaming. That's what I love. And I just did my revamp as well, like I was talking about. Working on a lot of new stuff for the channel. So coming back with all these new things and a new look was really nice. And I think everyone liked it. I'm hoping everyone liked what I did. It's exciting, you know. Just like the last 2 weeks, a lot has changed and a lot has grown, and it's exciting, you know. I'm thinking back to when I first started, you know, like I'm coming up on 1 year of being an affiliate, and it's just reminding me of how much work that I've put in for like this past year, you know. Just putting in the work, you know. You know, and where I'm at now didn't come from just doing nothing. You know, I had to build upon myself and improve and critique myself endlessly, which something that I had to learn this year, which I think is the biggest thing for anybody who wants to go full time, is learning how you work. If you can learn what works best for you with workloads, with being at home, you'll be set. You'll be set for any type of content creation where you're your own boss. You're set for life. If you know what works best for you, you're golden. And that's what I had to learn this year. I think that's the biggest lesson that I've learned this year is learning how to critique myself in a professional and not self-detrimental way, and learning what works best for me. You know, I think a lot of people think that streaming is easy, including some people who stream. I think a lot of people come into it thinking it's going to be easy, but I don't think a lot of people realize the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes. You know, it's not an easy job. Like it's definitely easier in relation to labor jobs or retail, because that fucking sucks. But that's labor intensive. This is mental intensive. It's motivation intensive. You really have to learn how to facilitate your time. You know, it's very time intensive, you know, because it's easy to sit like to give you a visual of what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting alone in my apartment besides my dog, who's passed the fuck out on our bed. In complete darkness, except for my Elgato key light and my screens. And I'm just sitting here in front of my mic, crisscross applesauce in my gaming green chair, and talking into a microphone, keeping up a conversation without really pausing. That's why I make this list to the side. You know, it's weird. I'm sitting here by myself talking. It's very easy to put this off. I could procrastinate, and I could wait until fucking midnight tonight when I released this on Wednesday, which when I first started streaming and doing stuff, I would procrastinate things a lot because it's easy to procrastinate when you're just sitting here by yourself. You know, there's no one to hold you down or hold you to it. You know, I don't have a teacher or a boss being like, hey, did you get this done yet? Because I'm that person. I'm that person. And so learning to know what works best for you, learning to keep yourself motivated, learning to take breaks that will get you to where you need to be and motivate you in between to go back and keep working on it is a very important life lesson. Even for just doing homework and stuff, I think this is a good lesson for anybody, is learning how you work and what works best for you. Because it's hard. It's hard to keep yourself motivated, and I think that's one of the reasons why, as of recently, me and a couple other content creators and streamers and stuff that I've been talking to have been talking about this past year, and all the things we've learned, and all the things that we would like to see grow in ourselves and our channel, in the future and in this next year. But one of the things we talked about as well is how there was a bunch of people that we knew and know, who started streaming right before we started, or around the same time that we started, or right after we started, who don't stream anymore, or they do it on rare occasions, like every once in a while or once a month or whatnot. And it's just interesting, like some of them just realized it wasn't for them. Some of them realized that how much work it was, and they're just like, like this is just a hobby for me, and then some people just stopped and haven't given any reason. And I think it's just because it's hard to find that flow for yourself, or in rare cases, people just give up because they're like, this is too hard, or just I'm not seeing the numbers that I want to see, because it is very easy to get discouraged about it. It's very easy to get discouraged about streaming. I mean, 2 months ago, I was super depressed. I was super depressed, and I wasn't feeling myself, because I was just I was so focused on other things, and I wasn't focused on how I work and what I wanted to do. I was so focused on like bringing new people in, and it was bad for me, and I knew it was bad for me, so I decided to change things. And since then, I've seen an incline personally in the numbers and stuff. And I know that's not an important part, but it's like it's kind of like a reassurance that, like, oh, you're doing the right thing. You're doing what's best for you, and people are seeing that, and they're coming because they like what they're seeing. Like I'm playing games that I want to play. Skyrim's old as shit, guys. It's popular, but it's old as shit, and it's just because I wanted to play. I'm about to play a run through of Pokemon Emerald. I'm planning on that. I'm playing a bunch of random indie games that no one's heard of, and like, people are coming, and I, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's still baffling, but you got to push yourself. You gotta realize that you have limitations. You have your own way of doing things. Everybody's different, and you got to learn what works best for you. Like when I'm off stream, almost all of my time, I get up in the morning, I drink a Ju Fuel. All right. I get fucking psyched to take the dog out for a walk and stuff, and Joy goes to work, and then I get on the computer and I go into power mode. I'm like fucking, like I think of that GIF, and that scene from the movie. God, is it Yes Man? I'm not sure. It's the one where Jim Carrey becomes God and he starts answering prayers on the computer, and he goes into like Zoom mode, and he's like drinking coffee while his one hand's just like. I just think of that every single time that I'm working. I'm just like, I'm on a roll. I'm just constantly working on stuff. Like if it's like tweaking my overlays and my panels and editing commands and adding new ones. Right now, currently, I'm gathering all my receipts from this past year. So that way, when taxes come up after New Year's, I can kind of just be like, these are all my losses. Save me as much money as possible. So I'm like focusing on that. I'm just working on a lot of new things. Like I have a partnership that I'm working on currently, that I actually just got off a meeting with right before I started recording the podcast, and it just went really well. And I'm editing clips and VODs and finding new games and researching new resources that I can do and learning new skills. Like the past 2 weeks that I've been doing this revamp and adding new things while I was sick, like I've learned so many things I've learned how to use Audacity in the last 2 months, and that's like my new favorite thing. I made a bunch of custom bit alert sounds. I think I've talked about this before, but now I'm doing them for a friend. A couple of people asked me to make overlays for them, and like these are skills that I didn't go to school for. I didn't go to school for this shit. It's fun. I'm having a blast. I just taught myself online. And I'm people are asking me to make them, and I'm like, I'm not going to charge you for it. I'm not going to charge you for it, but it's fun. It's fun to do this and help people out and learn new things and get better at it and learn what works for me. At the end of the day, it's like just challenging yourself, Like you just got to improve upon yourself and do what works best for you, you know? It's it's as simple as that, guys. It's as simple as that. Challenge yourself in a constructive way, you know? Challenge yourself in a constructive way. Speaking of challenges, speaking of challenges, like, does everyone remember like all of the challenges that were like such a huge thing like 10 years ago? 5 to 10 years ago, when like the cinnamon challenge and the ice bucket challenge and like all of those were like such a big thing. Like they were all over Facebook and Instagram. Like everyone was doing the cinnamon challenge. Everyone was doing like the lemon shot challenge. Everyone was doing that like pull a thing ingredients from hats to make a smoothie challenge. And then of course like the ice bucket challenge was for ALS, and like it was like for a cause. But they were doing a challenge because it was popular at the time. Everyone was doing challenges. It was just like such a huge thing. Everyone was doing all of these like different challenges online, and they were always like super weird, or like the chubby bunny challenge. Like that was a huge one. Everyone was doing it. And it's funny because like it's moved from that now. And now with TikTok and everything, now it's like dance challenges or prank challenges or stuff like that. They're not so much like gross things or like possibly damaging things. It's just it's crazy to me that that was such a huge thing back then. Like everyone, challenges are good, personal challenges, and then like these challenges, like the spicy chip challenge and whatnot. Like they're fun, but they're also like just for views, Like, why are you doing that to yourself just for views? Why are you doing that to yourself? I remember I did, excuse me. I remember I did the smoothie challenge and the lemon shot challenge, and I did the ice bucket challenge because someone's tagged me in the Facebook post like you're doing the ice bucket challenge next, and I did it. But me and my friend did the smoothie challenge and lemon shot challenge because we were dumb kids, and we had a hat full of a bunch of random weird ingredients, and we each picked one and then made a smoothie for each of us. But it was, I think mine was like milk, banana, squid, tuna, hot sauce, and I think like honey or something like that. And oh my god, I fucking threw up. It was so bad. Like why do that to yourself? Like we're just crazy things we did as kids. Like why the fuck why the fuck would we want to do that? And then the lemon shot challenge, like I love lemon juice, but like straight lemon juice is like it burns like a motherfucker, It's tangy. Like why are we doing that to ourselves? There's no point. There's no point. We're just following the trends, It's just interesting. And like I mean, I say that, but like during some of my subathons, I did like a hot sauce shot and lemon shot and like a ginger shot and stuff like that, and it sucked. But that's the thing. I know it's entertaining for people. I know it's entertaining, but like at the end of the day, goddamn, it sucks. It just sucks. I when I was writing things down, and then because of stream, we were talking about sriracha, and it reminded me of this time forever ago, so long ago. I think I've talked about this before, but I used to do balloon animals like as a job with like parties and stuff, and I got hired to do a like a carnival. It wasn't like a huge carnival. There was like a couple rides, but it's mostly like a fair, But they asked me to they hired me to walk around for these 2 days and basically just walk around and make balloon animals and hand them out. They pay for the profits. I mean, they paid for the supply cost, as well as a flat fee that I had priced per hour that I was there. And I gotta be fucking, I think I was 12. Well, I wasn't that fucking old. But remember I did it, and there was all these stalls and booths with different food and stuff that people were making and whatnot. And I was just walking around, and someone asked "Hey, can I get a balloon dog, please?" "Hey, excuse me, sir, can I get a balloon dog?" Be "Yeah, here, let me just twist that up." There we go. Wow, you got a balloon sword now. You're a fucking pirate. I was just doing that for 2 days, and I the first day was an afternoon. And then it was Friday afternoon, so it wasn't as long. But then Saturday, I was there for the entire day. I got there on Friday, I worked it, and then on Saturday, I got a little more comfortable, and I realized that one of my friends from my homeschool group, because yes, I was homeschooled, was there with another booth, and so they kind of just followed me around for the day, and we were just hanging out, and while I was working, and there was this booth that was around. From I forget what company it is. I probably could find it online, but they had the hottest hot sauce in the US or something like that. It was US made. There had a hot sauce called the Zombie Apocalypse and the Rapture. Zombie Apocalypse was a little less hot than the Rapture. And the Rapture was the hottest, but fuck, they were both extremely hot. Every pepper you could think of was in that sauce. And they had little samples out, okay? And they also did salsa, mild salsa, nothing hot or nothing too hot, but they also had hot salsa, and then they had the hot sauce. And I was walking around in my garb, because I did this. I was a ragged punk. That was my clown outfit. I was a ragged punk. I had a Newsies cap and fingerless gloves with a blazer and a colorful t-shirt and cool shoes with jeans with patches on it. I was a hipster. I was a hipster clown. I was a hipster clown making balloon animals for the children. Because I know people don't like clowns, so I was fuck that. I'm just gonna dress up weird and funky. I was gonna be a funky boy. You have to remember I was 12, so I looked like a member of NSYNC when they were in high school. But I had stopped at the stall, this hot sauce salsa stall, and I was ooh, I want to try something. And the friend, and I'm doing quotations right now, the friend was "Oh, you need to try this salsa. It's very fruity. It's very good. You should try it." I said, "Okay." Being a dumbass, not gullible as shit, not looking at the sign. And I thought it was salsa because it was chunky. It was thick and chunky. Little did I know that this was the Rapture hot sauce, the really fucking hot one. And so I took a scoop, and it was a big fucking scoop of this with this chip. And I took a bite, and I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of spicy. That's a spicy meatball." Wow. And right at that moment, a kid and his father came up and was like, "Hey, can you make us a balloon animal?" And I was like, "Heck yeah." And I turn around, and my face starts going flush. And I shit you not, I thought I had steam coming out of my ears, and it hit me like a brick wall. And I was like, "Ah!" My mouth just starts drooling. And my friend, in quotation, starts busting up laughing. And the guy behind the booth's like, "Did you have that one?" I was like, "Yeah." And I'm sitting there twisting, hiding the sounds of my tears and my sobs between the squeaks of the balloon animal as I'm twisting it. And I make the kid the balloon. I'm like, "Here you go. Have a great day." And I just fucking book it. I'm like, I need to find milk. I need to find water. I need to find ice cream. I need to find something with dairy in it to parch my mouth, because it was a hot day. I had a hot mouth, a hot bod. That's beside the point. I was 12. What am I talking about? And so I needed to find some sort of dairy product. So I was running around, and it hurt. I was 12. It fucking hurt. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to die. I straight up thought I was gonna die. And so I was running around trying to find, I was using my tip money that I was getting to fucking buy whatever I could. I found a lady who was selling water for like $1, but it was like an older lady, and I still think about this today. I feel awful about it. But I was like freaking out. I was like, "Can I have water, please, please, please?" And like I was like, "Please hurry!" Like there was no one else at the booth, so I wasn't like cutting line or anything. But she was freaked out because she was an older lady, and so like she like reached her hand in like they had those big like tubs of like ice in the drinks, and because she's older, bad circulation and whatnot, she reached her hand in the ice, and like it hurt her because there was a lot of ice, and she reached her hand in. Normally they have like the towel that you can pick up with the tongs or whatnot, and she grabbed me a water, and I like chugged the entire thing, and that didn't really help anything. And then I went to the ice cream place that I got a thing of ice cream, was eating it. But then afterwards, after it had dissipated, after like 45 fucking minutes, I was sitting at a chair, like taking a break because I was like, God damn. And the guy who had hired me came over and was like super upset with me because like I had made a commotion, and I was technically working, was part of the staff, and I had made a commotion and was like running around, and I wasn't making balloon animals because I had to like, and so I just remember that was like a big moment for me because I was just like, shit, like fuck, this guy's mad at me now, and I probably won't get hired again. And I ended up stopping doing the balloons, and we moved too, so it never could hire me again. But yeah, it was so shitty. And dude, I love spicy things, but I like to enjoy the food and be able to taste the food that I'm having, because those hot sauces, oh my god, dude, they are fucking spicy. They are spicy. I'm a simple man. I like pepperoncini peppers and jalapenos, jalapenos and red chilies and chipotle peppers and fucking some habaneros I'm okay with, depending on what capacity. And sriracha. Ooh, fuck me up with some sriracha. Oh, I love sriracha so much. But like that's the thing, like I just think it's one of those things where I want to be able to taste my food. I think it should enhance the food. It shouldn't like mask the food, if that makes sense. But I can't. I have like PTSD with hot sauces now. Like if I am trying a new hot sauce, I have to be like, I'll do like the minusculest of dabs to try it because I'm worried that my mouth will be on fire. Like that was a worse experience. It sucked ass. But like we just did a lot of crazy things as a kid. Like, like all those challenges and stuff. Like I remember it was more of a challenge for myself. It was something fun that I could do because I used to go to the movies all the time. I don't know if anybody was our participant in this this subscription service back in the day. It has subsided now. It's not a thing anymore. But there was this thing called like Movie Pass or something like that. It was an online subscription. They would send you a legitimate credit card. Okay. And I got this when I was like 16, 17. I can't remember what age I was. It was like $20 a month. Okay. Fucking steal, by the way. $20 a month. You can go see a movie a day at a movie theater. A movie a day. Okay. I think their thought was, oh, it's not going to be, nobody's going to be going to see a movie a day. They doubt me. They doubt me. You can go see a movie a day and it cannot be the same movie twice. But with most theaters and most, places, they have like 6 different showings that they're playing, if it's a bigger theater. There's 6 different movies that are playing at all times. And it alternates like every 2 weeks. So you watch 6 to 8 movies every 2 weeks, you definitely make your fucking money back with how much tickets cost. Like they're like $8 to $12, $8 to $15 a ticket here, depending on the theater, And all you had to do was go onto their app that's on your phone. You have to check in 30 minutes before your showing. You go up to the box office, and then when you do the check-in on your phone with the movie that you want to go to and the theater you want to go to, they activate your credit card, and you pay for that ticket with your credit card, that credit card that you have. And it basically turns on the credit card or the debit card or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It pays for the ticket, and then it marks it off that you've on the app that you've seen that movie. And then you go and you watch it and you're good. Something that I like to do because I'm a big movie buff. I can't talk. A big movie buff. My God. God damn it. A big movie buff was I used to go in and like watch a bunch of movies that I would have never watched otherwise, and give a review for them. Because I was like, you know what, if I have this subscription, $20 a month, I can see movies that I normally wouldn't go to see, because I'm like, I'm not going to spend money on that. Go see them and then leave reviews for them, because why not? So I would go in and I would want to see if they would think I'm like a critic or something. I would bring in a I would bring in a clipboard, and I'd be like, I'd like to see this movie, please. And I'd go in and I'd bring a pen and I would just like write down like my thoughts on the movie and stuff. Um, no one ever like took any notice to me having the clipboard. I just thought it'd be funny. Um, but I remember when I was like in high school, after I had the subscription and stuff, one of my favorite things to do, sometime with friends, mostly by myself, is see how much like food I could sneak into the theater without being noticed. Because movie theater food and candy and drinks and stuff are expensive as shit. We all know that. It's expensive. Normally you spend more on the food and the drinks than you do on the tickets themselves. You know, it's expensive. But everyone wants to have some fucking popcorn and a soda when they watch a movie. It's nice. It's nostalgic. It makes you feel nice, you know? At least for me. I take comfort in that shit. But it's expensive, and you know, like you want to bring your own stuff, but then they're like, oh, that's not allowed. And you know, so what? This is fucking awful. I do not condone this, by the way. This is when I was a kid. I don't do this anymore. Something I would do would I would see how much food I could sneak in, and so I would literally like take take a Subway sub and wear sweatpants and duct tape it to my thigh, and then walk in with it. Or I think the craziest that I've done is taking a pizza, wait until it cools down a little bit so it's not as hot and toppings don't get around. Put it on a tin foil, fold the pizza in half and wrap the edges with the tin foil, and then duct tape that to your stomach so it looks like you have a gut and you just wear a hoodie. And then of course, like bottles of soda and stuff, you duct tape to your thighs as well. It's just a little awkward reaching into your pants to pull out a soda in the movie, but that's why you sit in the back. That's why you sit in the back. Now, of course, I have been caught once at the door because they were like, you look like you have something in you. And of course, with the America having a bunch of fucking crazy things happening, you know, they want to make sure that everyone's safe. So like, I was just like, oh, sorry, let me just put this in my car. I felt really bad. But then another time I was caught in the back of the theater, and the guy was super cool about it. He was just checking to see if there's any trash or whatnot. And he saw me with the fucking sub, and I was just like, hey. He's like, you're not really supposed to have that in here. I was like, I'm sorry. And he's like, it's fine, just eat it. Make sure you don't make a mess, okay? And I was like, I promise I won't. But yeah, it was just something funny. Like this stupid stuff you do as a kid, you know? Stupid stuff. Oh man, it's just crazy, you know? And look at me now, you know? The same as when I was a child, just less of a vandal. I'm just kidding. It's not like I was out there graffitiing the sides of the movie theaters and whatnot, but you know, I had my rebellious stage. I've moved past that. I've become more of a mature adult, whatever that means. um, but no, I was thinking about all those challenges that were like so popular back in the day, and like we still have them now, but just all the crazy stuff that I used to do and like everyone else used to do, my friends, you know, it's so interesting to me how much things have changed. um, but speaking of change, going back to what I was talking about, there's a lot with the channel that's changing, and I'm really looking forward to. And the Crimson, who I've mentioned multiple times on stream and on the podcast, fucking a blessing. You know, I consider him a brother. He's been super helpful with a lot of different things. Very talented artist, and he's rushing rushing for me all my emotes because I had to replace all my emotes, and they're fucking awesome. They're a little juice boy guy, and I don't have a name for him yet. I'm thinking of one. There will be a name for him. But he's a little guy made of juice. You know, he's like Flubber, but with a straw stuck in his head. He's a little apple juice boy. And I'm excited to show everybody all of the emotes. I'm excited to show everybody all the new badges and stuff, and and the new logo he had made for me, and it's just I'm excited. I'm excited. There's so many exciting things, guys. So many exciting things. I can't stand it. I'm about to bust. Fucking Nick Cage. Oh. Oh my god! I'm excited, guys. There's just so many new things that I'm doing and I'm working on, and this new partnership that I'm working on is just I'm super psyched for it. We're gonna have all these new things and all these new games, and I'm just excited for the future. I'm excited for the rest of this year, and I'm excited to keep working on the things that I'm working on. Uh, I'm making panels and overlays for some people. Crimson. I'm making new sound bit alert sounds for him with Audacity. Which, by the way, I'm loving the sound design. This is really fun. It's really fun to like find things that people are interested in and like make an alert sound out of it. Knowing their stream and how they run things on their channel, knowing that certain people like doing certain things in their channel. So being like, oh, I can tailor it to this. And it's been a nice change for me because it gives me something to work on in between things that I'm working on, gives me a little bit of break from my stuff to like focus on some other people and help them out. And I just see a lot of people changing their stuff and revamping their streams and coming into where they would like to be with their streaming stuff. And it's just cool. There's just so many new people that I'm so thankful for that I'm surrounding myself with as of late. And I've been working my fucking ass off. Guys. I feel so proud of myself. Not to toot my own horn, but I am very proud of the work that I've been doing as of late. And I hope it shows on stream. I hope it shows. I'm just happy to be back. I'm just happy to be back and be doing stuff. And I'm happy to be on the podcast. This podcast, again, is a way to challenge myself. And I think it's a good way for me to get over stumbling over my words and stuttering and being able to just keep a conversation going and flowing without many breaks, because it's a skill, you got to boost your resume. You got to buff that shit out. You got to, it's, I'm okay. So let's take a step back. Okay. I've talked about this before. Okay. But I've worked a lot of jobs. I had the balloon thing. I was a paper boy. Then I did the balloon business. I did the button making. I made little pins and stuff for events and whatnot. I worked at a photography company. I've worked at Michael's Crafts. I did the framing. I framed photos and made shadow boxes and whatnot. I worked at Walmart as a cashier and on the modular team. So I replaced the prices and the shelves and the displays. I worked at a lumber mill, totally labor intensive, stacking wood. Fucking made me shredded, ripped as shit. I'll never be that ripped again, ever. And I'm aware of that. I worked at Starbucks. I was a barista. Like, I've just had a variety of jobs, and it sucks that like, if I applied for like a management spot, I would be like, probably wouldn't get the job because I haven't stuck around with one job long enough to be like, yeah, this is I've jumped from job to job to job, but I've learned so many different skills, and like during that time, I was also working on stuff behind the scenes for myself and doing different things and learning skills on my own, and like I'm proud. Like I never went to college. Instead of going to college after high school, I opened a juice bar. And it was a fucking endeavor and a half. But here's the thing. I learned so much from it. I learned so fucking much from owning that juice bar. Did it last that long? No. I ran out of money in 8 months. It's to be expected. I was running a fucking cafe and having to order food that went bad in a week. Like apples and carrots and celery and cucumbers and spinach and all kinds of shit like that. Like those stuff don't last that long before it's not fresh anymore. And like I ran out of money because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I worked. I overworked myself and I got drained and I was scared to give up, and until the point where I was in debt, but I learned from that. And now I'm learning things about myself of how I work and my flow, learning to be motivated and stay motivated and keep getting things done. After this podcast is done, I'm going to literally throw it in there, upload it, make a video format it for YouTube, upload that and have it set to a timer to post, and then have this one, the podcast itself, set for a timer to post at a certain time. And then I'm going to be working on my mod stuff. Then I have to make a merch list. Oh, that I shouldn't have said that. I have to work on some new stuff. I have to work on some, like, just a bunch of different things that I have to do today. It's my day off. It's my day off from streaming, but I'm still working. I'm just working my fucking ass off, and I've had so many jobs and I've done so many things, and although I don't have a lot to show for it, I've diversified myself and my skill set, and I'm just proud of what I can do, if that makes sense. Might not look like much, but it is what it is. Also, just a little side note. I was playing Skyrim, like I said, and there's a guy who sits on a bridge. He sits on a bridge in Iverstead. Now, when you first go to Iverstead, it's because you're trying to go to the Greybeards of Hrothgar, High Hrothgar, on the mountain, which is like the Way of the Voice and whatnot. It's like the whole Dragonborn like main quest line. But you have to go through Iverstead to take the trek up the mountain to get there. And so when you're going to the bridge, he just, I think his name is Gwynlyn or something like that. And then, of course, there's Klimek, which is the guy who gives you supplies to take up the mountain. But Gwynlyn is just sitting there. He's just elf, he's just chilling. But he's super optimistic and super positive. He's just talking. He's like, what a fine day. The lovely, lovely weather we're having. How are you? Like, he's just super, super nice, And if you ask him, like, you seem quite happy, like what's going on? His exact quote, and I wanted to talk about this, so I looked it up quickly while I was talking. I looked it up because I wanted to see what it exactly, because I don't want to misquote. Okay, this is what I want to take away from everything that I've said today. Okay, everything I said today, this sums it up, and it was beautiful, and I love this quote so much, and that's why Skyrim is one of my favorite games. But listen, my father taught me an important lesson many years ago. He said, Gwynlyn, you have the whole world before you. Go out and experience it. Be whatever you want to be. So I took it as advice, and here I am. This life might not look like much to you, but I'm content. And isn't that all that matters? How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Just this line. This life might not look like much to you, but I'm content. And isn't that all that matters? Right? You don't have to do something that's super showy. You don't have to do something that everyone's like, oh my God, bro, you're an inspiration. You don't have to do that. As long as you're happy and you're content with what you're doing, that's what matters. Never settle. But if you're content with what you're doing and you're happy, like you're like, this is my place, that's all that matters. Like, you don't have to do something extravagant. You know what I'm saying? And I just love that quote so very much. And I just wanted to share it. So Gwynlyn from Skyrim, you my boy. But yeah, guys, it's a matter of challenging yourself, moving forward, doing a bunch of new things, and just do what makes you happy. Challenge yourself. Do challenges. Oh my God. I'm going to get off before I start repeating myself over and over and over again. But, thank you all so very much for listening. As always, please share with your friends the podcast. I'm so happy that it shows me analytics for the podcast of who listens, who listens. And there's a lot of people around the world. Like, there's a couple of people in Germany. I have a couple of people in India, and then like 2 people in Australia, which is just crazy to me. And so if you're somebody who's not from the U.S., I fucking love you. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you've been enjoying the podcast, and I hope that you're getting something out of it. If it be a life lesson or a laugh, hopefully a laugh, and I just thank you for supporting me through all these new changes. And if I don't see you in stream, I will see you next week during the next podcast. Through your ear holes. Appreciate you guys a lot. I will see you in the next one. Remember to eat your apples and stay funky, my dudes. All right. Bye.